more details first.
Yeah.
And what chapter?
Chapter Shine.
Awesome. And chapter Shine?
Close. Right here.
Okay. All right. Last year we had last time we had other people. So I was like, yes, I won! Do you want to tell us some of the things that you like to see or what you're doing?
I'm an incoming intern. I was a chapter mentor this past year.
Awesome. Okay, and then what?
This is my public advocacy, talking about the importance of Christian communication. It is said that only 5% of Americans are ready and willing to command the public platform. Now that means that the other 95% has to listen to that 5%. I would like to share with you why, as Christians, it is vital that we are a part of that 5% that is ready to speak, as well as how you can become a part of that 5%. In an article called "It Doesn't Matter What You Know If You Can't Communicate" by George Ambler, he states, "Communication has been central to the social process of all great leaders." Now, when we look back over the leaders of history, you will notice that all of them were exceptional speakers. They connected with their audience, their message was crystal clear, and they were able to motivate, to inspire, and to persuade. Men such as Pericles of Athens, or Winston Churchill, or Martin Luther King Jr. But on the other hand, men such as Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, and Joseph Stalin. These were all men who were initially known for their communication skills, many of them long before they came to power, and they used those communication skills to share their ideas and to further their cause. For Pericles, he used his communication skills to rally the Athenians during the Peloponnesian War. Winston Churchill was able to keep Britain in high hopes during the Blitzkrieg of World War II. For others, such as Adolf Hitler, he used his communication skills to start the bloodiest and most destructive war in history, World War II. And Joseph Stalin jump-started the murders of over 700,000 Russians during the Great Purge of the 1930s, simply by sharing his ideas. You cannot look at these men and the roles that their communication skills played into and not say that knowing how to speak is important. What if Martin Luther King Jr. had been able to express his heart and inspire thousands of people during his famous "I Have a Dream" speech? What if Adolf Hitler had been able to express his final solution for World War II to the Germans? Communication is key in shaping people's lives and changing the course of history. Now, I once watched a debate between a Christian and an atheist on the topic of the existence of God. And as we got farther into the debate, it became pretty clear who was a better speaker. The Christian, though he had several good points, mumbled, had almost no eye contact, and really did not connect with his audience. The atheist, on the other hand, was a very smooth speaker. He communicated his thoughts well, incorporated humor, and was very conversational, so he connected with his audience easily. Now, as the debate progressed, I became more frustrated. How many people who watched this debate would side with the atheist? Not because he was right, but simply because he got his points across to an audience left us with an incredible message, and we have to be able to communicate that message effectively. But how can we become better communicators? Well, for starters, we can study other great speakers and ask, what made these speakers great? What specific speaking skills do they have that we can incorporate into our own speaking styles? Pericles inspired the Athenians by reminding them why they were fighting. Winston Churchill used short, quotable phrases that stuck with his audience. Jesus used stories to communicate his complex message. Learning from the greats is one of the best ways to becoming a better communicator. Another way to do this is to seek out training. One of the ways that I'm doing this is by being involved with the Institute for Cultural Communicators, or ICC. ICC is a Christian organization that teaches communication and leadership skills to students between the ages of 6 and 18. I've been involved in ICC for about 6 years now, and I started off by being involved in ICC's local chapter program, where students work together to improve their communication skills. It was here that I progressed through the Young Speaker Skill Training Series, as well a communication curriculum that ICC offers, as well as serve in various leadership opportunities. This year, I was accepted to be a touring intern with ICC. That means that for 5 months later this year, I will spend time training and traveling around the country, teaching communication and leadership skills to students at conferences. Now, learning to communicate isn't easy. I've messed up, I've made mistakes, and there have been times where I have really wanted to quit. But I always think back to that Christian versus atheist debate, and I rediscover all over again how important it is for Christians to be able to communicate. And I want to help people do that hard thing so that they can share the reason for the hope that they have and be able to do it well. I have found that the Institute for Cultural Communicators is very effective in mentoring Christians to speak clearly, to connect with their audience, to motivate, to inspire, and to persuade. Only 5% of Americans are ready to speak. Now, what if that 5% was full of Christians who could communicate a message of hope, the message of